Hey guys, Brad coming at you here on a Victory Monday. Dolphins beat the Raiders 20-13, and it was just kind of ugly. We had over 400 yards, but we just kept fumbling or throwing a pick or doing something stupid that just kept it, like we should have won by 17 or more. And we just kept it close. But this is a couple games in a row now. A Chiefs game, the offense has just been sloppy. And it's not just turnovers. It could just be like whiff on a block, wrong route run, horrible throw by Tua, just terrible play call at the time. You know, whatever it is, they're just kind of sloppy here the last few weeks. And you're going to have to clean that up. But on the bright side the last few weeks is the defense has gotten healthy, and Jalen Ramsey looks like all-pro Jalen Ramsey. He was just awesome yesterday. Not just because of the pick. I mean, he was just dominant. And then those two picks were amazing. But the defensive line with Bradley Chubb is earning his money. Last year it was like, was this trade worth it? This year he's been very good. Jalen Phillips is finally healthy. The last couple weeks, you're starting to see what that looks like. So, cross your fingers with the health-wise. The defense that was so bad to start the year won us that game yesterday, and that was the first time I could say the defense won us the game all year. So, that's the positive. As you get into colder weather, playoff time, defense tends to travel more consistently. So, that's a good sign. We just got to clean up the offense. It's like, I don't need you putting up 40. It isn't that. I just need you to just clean some stuff up, you know? You can't keep giving turnovers and giving the ball at the 30, you know? Luckily, the defense held them to 2 field goals when that happened, you know? But just ugly stuff. Speaking of ugly, the poor Bears, I don't know. I still don't even know how they lost that game, really. But you're still not surprised they lost the game, if that makes sense. You're not really sure how they lost it, but you're also not surprised they lost it. But the whole game, they basically controlled, 85% of it? Just they either settle for field goals, and then the last few minutes just terrible. But in the long run, probably best they lost, right? Fields running is amazing. The throwing, the consistency is just not there. And I think at this point, that can only improve maybe a little bit more. So that is what it is, I think. I think most Bears fans are ready to move on. If somebody's willing to give you especially a first rounder for them, which you see around the league how desperate people are for quarterbacks, it's not out of the realm of possibility. It may be time to move on. But, and it's not because he stinks. He doesn't stink at all. It's just, you don't want to be stuck with the Ryan Tannehills of the world where you know you're not winning anything with them. So it's that dangerous spot of like, you're afraid to just be awful, but you also don't want to just stay here, you know. So that's the danger of it. What else happened? Tommy DeVito. I mean, the first couple starts this guy had were just, he was not functional. And then yesterday comes out and throws 3 touchdowns on Washington. How Ron Rivera has a job this morning, I have no idea. I mean, that's an automatic fireable offense. And not to mention, the Washington Stadium didn't have hot water yesterday. Place is a dump. And new owner now, so we'll see how that works out. But, yeah, that was probably the most surprising thing I saw yesterday was Tommy DeVito being functional. And Washington, who should be much better than what they are. Yeah, they traded their pass rushers away, but they just... Speaking of should be much better than what they are, the Chargers, they lose another tight game because that's what the Chargers do. Against the Packers, Jordan Love, that was his best game in a long time since beginning of the year, so that's promising, I guess. I still think he's kind of just a guy. He's not awful. I think he's probably just a guy. Um, what else stood out yesterday? CJ Stroud made a lot of plays, but a lot of dumb decisions in the second half. He kept trying to throw the game to the Cardinals, man. They just never did anything with it after the interceptions. But, typical rookie stuff. So, you're starting to see it, but he's still been great. Still threw for over 300, made a lot of plays, but you're starting to see the turnover. Now, we'll see if that starts to creep up. Because that's been the most impressive thing with him was he wasn't turning the ball over. So, but he had a lot of them yesterday. What else? The Broncos on a roll, up to 5-5. I mean, after the first 4 or 5 weeks, we writ them off, and they've got it together, man. We knew they shouldn't be that bad, but got to credit Sean Payton. Much as most people hate him, I think the guy's a pretty good coach. So I think that's starting to show. As long as Cortland Sutton cannot fumble the ball, which I don't know. That guy loves to fumble the ball. I don't get it. For a wide receiver, I've never seen anyone fumble as much as him. But side note, the defense has improved to at least a solid unit. And the offense has they're just solid. Like, they're not amazing, but they're solid. And they're back to 500, which it looks like in the AFC, everyone's going to be fighting for the bottom 2. 5 are pretty much, I think, automatically in. And then 6 and 7, I think, is still up for grabs. But, anything else that really stood out yesterday? Thing I could think of. Yeah, nothing else really stood out to me or surprised me really that much yesterday. But that's what happened. First Black Friday game ever. The Dolphins will be playing the Jets in that. And like I said, even though the Jets defense looked awful yesterday, worst I've seen them play all season easily. We know the offense has its problems, but that defense stunk. I hope I see that Jets defense on Friday. But like I said, if we play a little sloppy like we have been, that's going to be a fourth quarter game for sure. So I don't count that as an automatic victory by any means. But if I don't see you guys again, have a happy Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for most of you. And I've got one card to show that I've gotten in the last 2 weeks. This is all I've gotten in. Won it for a great price. A lot of people are talking about prices now, right? Most of the stuff, again, collectors don't really care. We just want to get it as cheap as possible, right? Merino stuff, as I've told people, the type of stuff that I'm looking for has not dropped at all. Game-worn patches, on-card autos, low-numbered parallels. That stuff is as expensive as ever. I haven't noticed a dip. Where I have noticed a dip, though, is some of the other players. The second, third-tier Hall of Famers. Guys like Jason Taylor. I've noticed it fluctuates more. Like, you'll see one sell for 60, one sell for 40, one sell for 40 here, one sell for 25. I notice you're seeing more of a fluctuation. And this happened with this card because I got it for $22, which is, this card should sell between the 40 and 50 range typically. So I was more than thrilled. 2022 Mosaic Football. This is the black gold parallel. Numbered 4 out of 8. So the black gold comes out of the Mosaic Choice. Yes, it is dumb they have this many different stuff. But yeah, it's up there in the top left. There you go. 4 of 8. But they are very pretty cards. Typically, I just like, the straight golds or give me the straight. But the black gold is nice. Obviously, you see the black in the center and then the gold all around it, which makes it the black gold. I picked up the gold Jalen Ramsey a couple weeks ago, which I did that in a good timing because I can only imagine what that would go for right now. But they're pretty cards. And Mosaic, like I said, those prices I noticed just fluctuate. You can get some good deals and other times not so much. But that's what I'm seeing in the football market. The top guys of the top stuff is still selling as high as ever. But It's the second, third tier, like very good players. That's the stuff you can find some deals in, I've noticed. But it fluctuates. Sometimes you can. But very nice card. The Mosaic Parallels, always nice, and typically go for a little less than the regular Prism or even the Selects. So if you like the look of them and you maybe want to save yourself a little bit of money, maybe Mosaic's for you. But that's the one card I got in. That's all I got. Thanks for watching. Christmas is right around the corner. You should see some stuff being delivered from the Smith household. And, yeah, have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Bye-bye.